Hello, my name is Betony and thank you for joining me at It's All Good. I am sitting underneath the absolutely gorgeous willow tree that is on this property, and it's pretty magical. I was just gonna do some yoga. The sun's setting behind me, and I was actually just having a conversation with somebody, and so I sell the DivaCup. I got really tired of promoting this product all the time simply because I use it and I really believe in it, and so inevitably I would end up talking to the ladies in my life about this product, and then they would be like, awesome, I want to try it, where do I get it? And then I'd be like, you can go to Walmart. I was like, why am I sending people to Walmart? Why am I sending people to these stores when I could just make this my business? Like, I'm totally selling it all the time anyway. And so I really got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So I did it. And so now I'm getting all these questions and I love it. I actually get so excited when somebody messages me and asks me like some dirty detail about the DivaCup, and it's just awesome. It makes me so happy that women are searching and they're not afraid to ask these questions anymore, and I'm seeing people of all ages break out of their shells and break out of their you know, the stigma around all this stuff. Like, this is who we are, ladies. This is us. And it's messy. I mean, we're messy. Our emotions are messy. Our body is messy. It is a mess. And until we embrace that and stop like hiding away from it, we're never gonna understand it. And that's the part that I love the most, is like, I don't sugarcoat it. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be freaked out. The first like cycle, you're gonna be absolutely mind blown, because there's gonna be all this stuff that you thought your whole life about your period, and then this is just gonna like shatter all of it, because we've never actually sat down and been like, how much actually comes out every month, or which day is actually my heaviest, or whatever, right? And so when you're actually like holding it in a shot glass, essentially, you can see it. And the really cool thing is, there's actually little measuring things. It's like a little mini measuring cup. I love it. I love it. And so I use Period Tracker. It's a free app, and I just track everything every day. And so I know, like, if you're regular, then you can basically have it dialed in like a month, like no problem. If you're irregular, it takes a little bit longer, but you'll be fine. Like, I think even if our lengths are irregular, the pattern of the days is usually pretty consistent. So anyway, I was talking to somebody and they were asking me, they were like, oh, I think this is like a really stupid question. And they were like, can it get like lost? Like, have you ever not been able to get it out? And no, I've never had that problem. I think what ends up happening, or what I know ends up happening, is as the cup fills with fluid, it becomes slightly heavier. It's not like it's under pressure, it's gonna like shoot out of you, but just natural gravity will bring it down. Like, it's a little bit heavier, so it starts to sit a little bit lower, and so you can just grab it. It has a little tiny tail on it that's probably like, I don't know, half an inch long. So you just grab that and then you pull the whole thing out and you hold it upright, and then you can see on the little measure dashes how much is in there, and then you just dump it out, rinse it out if you're at home. If you're not at home, then what I do, which rarely happens, by the way, this is when you're in the learning process, it might happen until you're like confident that you know when you have to change it. But if you're paranoid and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna change it because I'm here, then what I do is I dump it, I turn it back over, I grab toilet paper with my one hand, I shove it in the cup, I grab toilet paper with my other hand, I go like this. Now there's nothing on the cup. I throw that in the toilet, grab it again, throw that in the toilet. Now it's dry on my hand and I put it back in. So I wasn't gonna go into detail about how to do all that in this video, but because I wanted to keep this short. But the question was, do I ever lose it? And the answer is no. I mean, your canal is only like, you know, a certain length. It's not like it goes forever. Your cervix is pretty much there. If you're ever into tracking that type of stuff, you can actually like get in there and, you know, that length, and you'll be able to feel your cervix. So it can't go any farther than that, and it's only that big. So really, it can't go anywhere. So even if you do, if it's kind of like, you know, it's way up there as far as it can go, and you're having trouble getting it, all you do is just push, and eventually you'll feel it. It'll come down, then you'll be able to grab it and just continue from there. That made me think of something that I haven't actually seen anywhere on the internet about the DivaCup. Something really cool that I thought of while I was having this conversation with her. So thank you, you know who you are. You can try it when you're not on your period. Like, I'm like, even me, like I haven't even used a tampon in like over 5 years, and I'm like still in this like sort of program, and I'm like, you would never put a tampon in if you didn't, if you weren't like flowing, right? Because it's like super unhealthy, like things like stick to things and it's like bad. But with the DivaCup, you can totally try. Like, you can, when you're not on your period and there's no risk, you can try. You can fiddle around, get it right, do the twist, the most important part. That's in another video. And figure it out so that it feels right, so that you're not like paranoid. You can practice walking around, you see if you feel it. Just go about your day, forget about it, because it doesn't matter. It's 100% silicone, like medical grade silicone, so you don't have to worry about it. And then you can practice taking it out, you can see what it feels like, all of that type of thing before you actually have your period. So how cool is that? So that leads me into like so many other questions about it. The other one that I really wanted to talk about was how long you can keep it in for. And that really depends on your cycle. So for me, I'm a day twoer, so I'm like really heavy on day 2. And even then, now, I will put it in at 8 o'clock in the morning, go to school, and I will not touch it all day, even if it is day 2. If you're really curious, you can actually Google like average flow per day and find out what the measurements are. We all cook, or we've all done shots at the bar. We all know how much 1 ounce is, and it's essentially within that range. We're talking like 1, 2, 3, 4 ounces. So we all know how much blood or fluid that is. So yeah, just do a few little Google searches and figure it out, because I think in our minds we think it's a lot more than it actually is, and it's not. So once you get over that initial cycle of figuring all that out, and I highly recommend Period Tracker, then yeah, your life will change. You won't even think about it anymore. And yeah, it's awesome. I can't talk about the DivaCup enough, and I really don't even care if you buy it from me. I don't even care if it's DivaCup itself. There's other ones that you can get in the States for my American friends. I think there's one called The Keeper, and then there's another one called Moon Cup. And there's many other ones. There's even other ones that are not even like a cup, they're more like a disc. I haven't really heard too many good things about those ones. They're apparently a little more tricky to use, but there's something crawling on my back. Oh, there it is. So the other thing that I wanted to say was that the thing that I really love about the DivaCup the most when it comes to when you change it and like how it functions and all that type of thing is that I was always not struggling, but like kind of just paranoid about after my heavy day, because basically with me it was like day 1, day 2 is like all of it, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 sometimes was like, you know, these days where I'm like, it's not really worth wearing, even having a tampon. But, and I just refused to wear pads. So I was like wearing these tampons all the time, changing them when I'm like, oh, this isn't even like worth it, you know, and it's like sticking to things, and I always just felt really like it just wasn't good for me. So if you are like me and you have those days at the end that are like not even really flow, but it's like, you know, you still want to not just ruin all your underwear. That's why the DivaCup's awesome, because those are the days where you like literally forget about it and it's like, oh yeah, I should probably change that or do something, because then you really don't have to worry about anything. Like, you're not just putting this like way too much absorbent tampon in, or using a pad that like barely gets anything on it. Yeah, that's actually, to me, that is when the DivaCup is the most valuable. It's after the heavy day. So anyway, that was just something that occurred to me. All these cool things that are like, you know, just way better than tampons. All right, if you have any more questions or any questions at all, I have heard it all. Do not be shy. You can post them here if you're also not shy, because that would be amazing, because if you're thinking it, there's like a zillion other people who are thinking it, and maybe they're too shy to ask. So you can PM me or you can ask on here. I love you guys. Keep asking questions. Keep going.